though, I know that. Shout out Nick Randazzo, by the
They
way.
look like ostriches.
Um, all right. Welcome back to another episode of the Hilarious Handbook. This is episode 6 of our series. We have another guest, Natalie, who is a fourth-year biology major at Sonoma State. And so tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm from a small town called Brentwood, California. It's like kind of in the East Bay. And I chose Sonoma State because I felt like it was so close enough to home where I could go home if I wanted to, but still far enough where I like had that independence and freedom.
Wow. And is that like when you think of Brentwood, is it like kind of like Roanoke Park kind of feel, or is it
Yeah, it's very similar actually, so it kind of sucks in like that aspect.
really?
Yeah.
So you wanted a bigger city, or is it more
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I think I didn't realize how like Roanoke Park was gonna be.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people are. They want that bigger city kind of feel, especially if you grow up in like smaller towns.
Yeah.
Whereas people who grow up in bigger cities want to go into the country and like far away from it. But yeah, so what made you choose Sonoma? I feel like that's actually a lot of people I know actually that go to Sonoma are from Brentwood. But
Yeah. I was very like unsure where I wanted to go. Like I wanted to go out of state, but then I was also kind of nervous to go out of state because I don't really before college I had never really traveled.
oh
Like
really?
yeah, like I've been on a plane like one time before college, so like I didn't know how I would do like being so far from home. And yeah, I just felt like Sonoma would be a good option.
Wow. And what made you choose biology as the major? It is a
I don't
pretty well known
know.
major though here.
I've always been like into the science classes, like in high school and like middle school. I didn't like
Okay.
math or like history. I like the science classes more. So
Wow. I can't attest to that because I hated all those classes growing up. I tried to get as far away from math and science as I could
yeah.
early on. And I only had to take like one biology class, I think, if I remember
Oh,
correctly.
really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think I needed a lower division science.
Oh.
That's what, and it wasn't hard or anything. I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, but anyways, so fourth year, you're hopefully about to you know, foresee that ending soon. And I mean, what are your plans after? Do you know yet, or?
So I'm a biology major with a zoology concentration.
Oh
So I
wow.
want to like work with animals, and the end goal hopefully is to go to vet school after I'm done with Sonoma. So yeah.
Wow. Where are a lot of the good vet schools? Cause
There's actually not a lot of vet schools, but like probably the most popular one would be UC Davis, like in
and that's
California.
not like
Yeah,
too far away either.
yeah. I feel like that's like the one that everybody would know. And then there's like ones in like other states, but
Really, I didn't know UC Davis actually had one.
yeah.
Because I feel like they are science oriented though. I know that. Shout out Nick Randazzo, by the way. He's at UC Davis right now for his grad program for CS. But interesting. So I feel like biology, like I can only talk about it through a business standpoint, but I feel like so far the workload hasn't been crazy bad. I feel like it's definitely ramped up though. But what do you think about it in terms of biology? Would you say your workload's still a good amount of homework, or?
I feel like in a lot of my biology classes, it's mainly test based and not really work based.
Really?
Like in most of my classes, it's like all of the tests and then like one or two assignments.
Oh,
And
that's not bad.
then, but then if you have a lab that goes with it, that's usually when you have like the more work.
Oh,
Yeah.
because that's what it was usually. It's like it's like a class and then a lab.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've always preferred the I like the tests, but I feel like it's also like it's not as easy to get those
Yeah.
extra points out of a test because you either got it right or you got it
Yeah.
wrong. Whereas if you get a writing assignment, yeah, maybe a little bit more work in the moment,
Yeah.
but you could probably
You can get more
like you can
points.
get a couple more points. Like
Yeah.
you can. I'm gonna be honest. I've bullshitted my way through essays. And
Yeah.
I've gotten points that I definitely wouldn't have gotten had it been a
Yeah.
test. So I think there's good and there's bad, but
Yeah.
I mean, with all the test based and I'm sure all that studying, are you able to do anything like in terms of outside like extracurricular activities?
Yeah, I'm actually on the school's cheer and stunt team. So
Wow.
yeah.
And is that I know there's like two teams, right? Is there like a show team and a sports like cheer team or How's
So
that
there
work?
used to be two teams. It was a game day and then a competition team. But then this year it's one team, so we're one program, and we go to like football game or not football games, basketball games, soccer games, lacrosse games, any like school events,
Hmm.
and then we have our competition, which is in Florida this year in
Wow.
April. Yeah, and I'm pretty excited for that.
Wow. And so now that there's only one team, is that basically you just took everyone that was from both teams and just put them into one, or was it necessarily did people have to try out again? I guess
Yeah,
is
everyone
really
has to try out again, and then yeah, instead of separating it into not everybody competes, and then not everybody cheers at games, everybody can do everything.
wow. So the team's gotten smaller or
I
little?
actually don't really know how many girls we have. I think it's probably still around the same amount, like same size. It
Wow.
just probably will look bigger because at games, not everybody. The game day team would usually be smaller than the competition team, so I feel like now it'll look a little bigger.
Wow. And is there a specific sport you enjoy cheering for more? I know you got basketball, you got You cheer for volleyball too, right? Or is it more of
Sometimes
soccer?
we go to watch, but it's more of like uh basketball and soccer.
Is there like a specific sport that you enjoy cheering for more, or is it still is your routine the same no matter the sport? Or
Yeah, it's usually the same, or we like learn a couple different ones so we can have more like options to pick from. But I would probably say I like cheering at basketball more because people are usually more hyped and the energy is
right?
more like up.
Well, it's also I think it's an indoor
Yeah.
thing, so it's like it's hard to cheer if it's like
Yeah,
outdoor.
it's hard.
But yeah, that's really cool. And is that the only thing you're kind of involved in, or is it like I'm sure that takes up a lot
Yeah.
of time too. Like I know a lot of people that are in the athletic department can only really handle their sport just because it's so demanding and all. Is
Yeah.
it always like? Do you have like a strict coach, or is it kind of
Um yeah, we have two coaches. We have um a guy and a girl coach who are actually roommates, and I say they're pretty strict, but I know like it's because they want us to do good,
right?
and sometimes it does suck because we have practice like late at night, so it's hard to sometimes find the balance between doing your homework and like going to bed at a reasonable time, but still going to practice and everything. So it gets kind of hard, like trying to figure out what you want to prioritize and when.
Right. And it's most of your practices like at night?
Yeah,
It's like and how long are they?
they're on Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10.
Oh wow, so that's 3 hours of kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, for us it was like 7 a.m. weights. That would go until 8. And then it was like from 1 to 4 was practice. But and this is like through high school and college. The worst part about practice wasn't necessarily the practice. It was the fact that we had to like do field work after. So like after you're
Mm.
done, you have to like rake the dirt and like
Oh, really?
put the bases away, rake the mound, clean the dugouts out. And it's like obviously I understand why we do it, but like after you're done practicing, that's kind of the last thing I want to
Yeah.
do to be honest. Do you have to like set up the mats and like put
Yeah, the
that away as
mats and
well?
stuff. Yeah, it
Which
sucks.
I guess is like after you're done cheering and stunting, it's probably not something you want
Yeah,
to do either,
it
right? It's
sucks.
yeah. So the good thing is if your team's big,
Yeah, it's
right? I
easier.
remember the old baseball coach here, Coach Geltz, he would always say a lot of hands make light work. The bigger the team, the less work it is. Of
Yeah, that's
course,
true.
with that being said, it's also easier to slack off because you're not going to get
Yeah.
noticed as much. But nonetheless, that's crazy. So, other than that, what have you enjoyed most about Sonoma?
I've enjoyed all the friendships I've made, honestly. I feel like in high school I was a little more like shy, but
Mm-hmm.
here I had like I didn't know anybody when I was coming here. So it really gave me the chance to kind of like just meet new people and make a lot of new friends, and I really like that
Nice.
aspect.
And I think, especially for you being a fourth year, I think you kind of saw you were kind of the first class post COVID. I feel like
Yeah.
so. Like the class before you, if I remember correctly, they were online for their freshman year.
Yeah.
You guys were like the first class that got the full
Yeah.
year. Um, Having seen Sonoma come out of COVID to now, where mission is not bad but not great. What would you say is like something that's changed from your time here, from like your freshman year to now?
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely feel like I've noticed like it almost feels like smaller at some points, but then when I go to like big night or like school events, it almost makes me feel like I don't realize how many people are enrolled here because I live in Bouge, like on the other side of campus. I
Right.
feel like so I'm kind of not like tucked away, but I just feel like I don't go on campus as much, so I don't like see as many people.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's like at big night, everyone comes out because they tried to
Yeah,
find something, and then half those people just don't come out again.
yeah,
Like, so you see all those people. Because I'll say this: big night this year felt a lot bigger than big night in years prior.
yeah,
But like, you would never know that now because, especially if you don't go, because like I have these people go and like say what's up and all,
mhm,
and they'll put their name down for something,
yeah,
and then it's like no. So
yeah,
I think I've definitely noticed a change from my freshman year till now. I feel like enrollment's definitely a lot higher now than it was
yeah.
because when we first came out of it, it was pretty low. But yeah, no. So you say you want to be a vet and all, and that's a really interesting pathway because like all of our guests, they've like from firefighter to law enforcement to
Mhm.
other like stuff. Like we have a very big range of things they want to do. Has this always been something you wanted to do?
Actually, yeah, like I remember being younger and they would do like those like career activities in
Oh
school. Like
yeah,
I would do like my projects on like a veterinarian and stuff.
wow. And that's crazy that a lot of people don't always know what they want to do, and that's actually really cool that you are able to kind of already know that path. Is it like a long path in terms of schooling, or
I mean, yeah, it's like another like 4 to 6 years, I think. It just depends, I think, what you want to specialize in, like specifically. Like
and
what
what
type of animals.
type of animals would you want to specialize in?
I don't know. I would be open, I feel like. I mean, probably just like regular, like smaller animals, but I would be open to larger animals.
Okay, all right. So yeah, and I mean, like you mentioned, UC Davis is a pretty big vet school. Is it hard to get in, or is it
Yeah, I feel like it's really competitive to get into
really?
that. Yeah.
I feel like yeah, there's a lot of schools like that that are um I don't know. There's some that are easier. I couldn't name you one unfortunately, but I feel like UC Davis just in general, like even just going there as an undergrad. I
Yeah.
remember how competitive it was.
Yeah.
And it's a lot harder if you're out of state. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think kind of moving on from that. Um this is something we usually do. It's top 3. We did it with Caleb with sandwiches. We did it last week with movies. This week, because you're gonna be hopefully becoming a vet, we're gonna go your favorite animals. Your top
Ooh.
3 favorite
Okay.
animals.
Okay. Let's see. Probably. Everybody always I feel like thinks I'm weird for this answer for these top two because they're kind of similar. But I would say flamingo and then peacock.
So number 1 and 2 are flamingo and
Yeah.
peacock.
And then third. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly feel like I don't really have a third one. Those are just like
Really,
my top two.
flamingos are interesting. I look. I'm gonna be honest. I've known this for a little bit now, but I feel like there's a brief moment where I didn't realize why they were pink until someone was like, "Oh, it's because they eat shrimp."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, no, that's surely that's bullshit, right? No, apparently it's true. And then peacocks always scared me when I went to the zoo as a kid,
Really?
because they're like feathers and all.
That's why I like them.
I would used to think I was like I remember I was talking to my mom at the zoo when I was like 9, and I was like, Mom, why do they have so many eyes? Like I've always thought they've like they're an interesting animal, but when I was younger, I was like freaked out because I thought they had like 100 eyes.
Well, that means that their feathers did their job.
Oh, really? Is that actually what it
Yeah,
means?
so that way like when there's like predators, they'll like get scared.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Wow, you learn something new every day. All right, for me, my top 3 animals. All right. Number 3, a dog. I'm going to go basic.
Okay.
Dog. Just because it's like, it's a man's
Yeah.
best friend. Number 2, I'm going to go a cheetah because they're
Ooh.
fast.
Okay.
And in Little League, my nickname was Cheetah because I was fast. It's not
Okay.
the case anymore. I am far from that. But nonetheless, cheetah number 2. Number 1, this is one that everyone thinks is like, I've been made fun of for this one.
Okay.
An emu.
Oh,
An
okay.
emu. and it's because that their faces are funny looking. I'm gonna be honest. That's the only reason why. Like, and also they're kind of scary looking. Like, I would not fuck with an
Do they
emu.
look like ostriches? Do you
Um,
know?
mm, not really.
I'm
I
trying to
think
picture one, but I think I'm picturing an ostrich. No?
they're similar. They're similar. They're just a tad like, what's the word? Emus have like a lot skinnier faces.
Do they have like big eyes?
Yeah,
I wonder if that's what I'm thinking of.
but their beaks are like
Yeah, they're
small.
like no?
They're a little smaller than an ostrich. I know, because I always say that, and everyone always asks what the difference is between an ostrich and an emu. And to
Oh
tell you
really?
the truth, I don't know the difference. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I really don't. But no, those are my top three. But emus are also a lot scarier, I feel like.
Yeah.
But well, only just because they run faster.
Yeah, that would be scary.
I remember I watched this documentary where someone pissed off an emu and it chased him.
Oh my gosh.
But also, it's like I don't think you can find them in a zoo here. Maybe you can actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. But anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here soon. This is one thing I do at the end of all my podcasts, as many of you know. What's some advice you have for people who are in your shoes who are about to graduate college?
Oof.
It may be tough because you're kind of going through going through
Yeah.
this right now, but
I would just say, stick it through. We're almost done. I mean, obviously, some people may keep going to school, or some people may be done and get a job. And it's just, we got to grind it out and stay motivated. I think that's
wow.
a big thing.
Yeah, I think my piece of advice for that would be obviously it's exciting that you're almost done, especially if you have something lined up for when you're done and you are moving on to the work world. But I also think that enjoy the time you have left. I think a lot of people are always in a hurry to move on, myself being included sometimes. Um, but understand that you're never going to get these 4 years back. These are going to be some of the best 4 years of your life.
Yeah.
You're kind of in a place right now where you can really do whatever you want. Like you're able to have that freedom. Whereas when you enter your first job, especially when you first start out, you're not really going to have that luxury. So I would say enjoy what you have right now, because tomorrow will take care of itself. But awesome. Well, thank you for coming on
Thank you for
and
having
sharing
me.
about your time at Sonoma State and your future plans in veterinary and zoology. And yeah, thank you for tuning in for another episode. And we are signing off.